this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. Well, I've had a haircut, Cat's had a haircut, and now I'm going to start giving this side of the garden a haircut. It's probably going to be quite boring, but I thought if I speed it up and put some music, there's an element of entertainment as well as you showing me doing some work. Anyway, it's not very warm out here, so I'm going to get cracking. And as I said, I will probably break into some music and Benny Hill stuff. But we'll make a start over here and I'll make my way along. I don't know how far I'm going to get. I've only got one bag left for my bag holder, and when it's full, that's all I can do today until some more bags arrive. Right, so that'll do. Quick little session. Hannah likes to help with the garden an awful lot, so I don't want to do too much on my own. But there is still some to do along there, but it means getting the steps out. And I don't like going up the steps without Hannah standing on the bottom one to keep it firm. It's not a tripod steps, it's just normal steps. So a lot of the rest of what needs doing can wait till Hannah's down and we'll do it together. But I just fancied, as it was a nice day and as this weekend progresses, it's going to turn wet and windy, which looks like for the rest of the week. So, you know, it's getting to the time of year, if you don't take advantage of a day when it's not raining, there aren't going to be many more. So you just got to get on with things a bit at a time, which is all I can do now with the old dodgy ticker. You can never try and do too much in one go. Lots of little goes, that's fine. But I'll just go round and have a look at the last little bits of autumn. Hannah was well impressed with the Michaelmas daisies, and I must admit I wasn't expecting quite such a show. I'll just lift the camera off. And they live round here in the planted border. And what I hadn't realised is I've got different sorts. So if you look down here, this one, they've all flopped over. I'll deal with that next year because the fuchsia's coming out. But if you look at that one, that is distinctly pink. That is a real pink colour. Whereas if you look up here, this one's quite a pale lilac-y type colour. And then this one over here is a deeper lilac colour. And there again is a nice pink one. So they've actually come up as lots of different colours basically. And then next year I'll use my plant holders a lot sooner, and they can be kept upright and back. But I do get a lot of bees and hoverflies seem to like these a lot. And at this time of year there's not a huge amount in flower, most of it's gone by now, so it's good to have this little last ditch bit of colour. And with that fuchsia gone next year, there'll be other things that might be in flower this time of year that have just got swamped. So we shall see how we go. The fuchsia's coming out and going in that blue pot. That was what it was got for. So little bits more to do. That bush has got to be rounded off again. Again, relatively small job, but it's now got to the point where it needs the steps. So next time I do it, it's coming down more than I did last time, so that I can get at it without getting the steps. It doesn't. All it needs to be is around the height of the fence. That's all. It doesn't need to go up there. And again, with these variegated bushes, see, those of you who have been around quite a long time, there were two others here. They got cut down right down to the ground in the hope that they would die and the landlord wouldn't miss them. And we sort of discussed it amongst ourselves. If the landlord complains that those two bushes have disappeared, just say they died in the drought. But yeah, the two that are left need rounding off again. If they get too tall, I can't reach them to cut them down, sort of thing. And then if you let them get too far, when you give them a haircut, they look awful for a while until they shoot out again. It's like this one. This looked awful, but look at all the green that's come now and all the flowers. So, you know, it is worth doing things at the right time. All these herbs will get cut back. They've all sort of finished flowering now, gone to seed. And all the new growth is down in here, ready for next year. See? So they just get cut off to the top of the pot. That'll be good. And yes, that'll do for today. The other things that have a bit of autumn colour, this is still pushing up buds, so providing we don't get hard frost, we will still get some of those nice yellow flowers. And I'm not sure we'll get any more on here. This is possibly down to its last now. Oh, there's a red admiral. Just appeared. There's a few around, but a bad butterfly year this year. Oh, that looks stunning in the sun, doesn't it? I wonder if I can zoom in. Can't really see what I'm doing, but it may or may not stay in focus. Ah, nice little pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting to be filming butterflies. Whizzing around here and then lands right under my nose, where I haven't actually got to zoom in much because it's so close. Cool, that is incredibly fresh. That has just hatched out. The edges of the wings are perfect. What a beauty. What a beauty. Oh well, little bonus, unexpected bonus. We're always grateful for those sorts of things, but what I actually came over here for was just to have a look at this. The red valerian has gone to seed and grown again. Look at all this new growth. And this is basically the single plant that I had. And it's lasted from when it started flowering. It's still pushing up new growth, and the sedum, however you say it, that's, I can see that from in the house. That's a nice little splash of red where there's very little else. And I keep deadheading the scabious and it keeps pushing up more flowers. this lavender's got to be cut right back hard, right into the not quite into the older wood, but thereabouts. Stupid dog needs oiling again. Yeah, so yeah, I'm pleased with everything in this garden this year. There's very little that hasn't performed very well. I mean, little things that have happened that are just unexplainable almost, but definitely unexpected, is how the thyme has spread. And it's doing a job it wasn't really put there to do. It was planted to have a little bit of ground cover in patches with some flowers on for the bees. And it's taken over. It's self-seeded into really large pieces of ground cover. Oh, by the way, this red valerian, these are the seeds that Hannah got when we went to Burnham's from one. She collected it and I just dug a little trench and put them in. They're growing. So we will have a lot more of that next year. We'll have a solid mass along here. Again, the thyme's got up here. And it's got in there. It's everywhere. All along the edges here. All along here. And what has done spectacularly well are the forget-me-nots, which is practically all of the green you can see here are forget-me-nots seedlings from these two plants. All of this, all these, and again, thyme. Everywhere you look, the thyme's managed to get a hold. So, you know, Hannah said, "You won't have any gravel soon." And I said, well, apart from the fact it will make it difficult to maintain the edges of the garden, because we will have to walk on some plants, it's a bonus, because where there's thick plants, there's no weeds. So it's good stuff. Some things that didn't perform very well. This was supposed to flower, and it hasn't. It's grown quite nicely. It's grown a nice patch there, and it's got a matching one over there, but it hasn't flowered. And this little ground cover, this is a type of sedum as well. That was supposed to flower, and it didn't. There's another one that side. I like matching things, if you know what I mean. But this bluey silvery thing, that's managed to get over here, there, and there. I didn't plant that. And there. So a patchwork of different types of green and different types of ground cover, some of which flowers nicely, is what we like. And I'm quite happy to, to get in there now. Okay, I've trodden on a few plants. Some will recover, some won't. But there's plenty there. It's not like I've trodden on the only one. So yeah, and since I started feeding the buddleia, they've gone absolutely mad. And not only have they grown a lot more at this time of year, the blooms that are being produced now are much bigger than the previous ones. So yeah. And next year that will be an awful lot better, because it'll get fed from early spring. So it'll get forced to grow into a nice big bush with a mass of blooms, and hopefully we'll have a better butterfly year next year, and we'll have a lot more visitors. We can only hope that they recover. So yeah, there we go. But there are splashes of colour in many places. So I've achieved my goal. I've filled the garden out. When Hannah's down next time, she will cut all that ivy back, and that will free up all of the primrose plants. They'll get a lot more light, and we'll have a mass of primroses along here next year. And some of the forget-me-nots have jumped over the path. And yeah, I'm pleased. We've had a good year where lots of things have filled out and lots of things have got going, that were just tiny little things. Oh, and over in here, we never look at this bit. This is the latest planted area. Now, it doesn't look much, but it was just weeds. So this little strip of land down through here, that big leafed plant there, I don't know what that is. but it's sort of taking over. I might take it out. I thought at first it was a foxglove, but it's not, and I don't know what it is. But those large leaves are overshadowing things. Yes, but down in here we've got some thyme, we've got different types of ground cover. There's bulbs in here, there's snowdrops, bluebells, there's some primroses. So when, again, this is overhanging now, it's hanging right over the top, which in the summer is fine because it provides a bit of shade for these plants. But when this is taken back and rounded off and everything, this will be able to be seen better. So yeah. And this is the, I've forgotten what it's called again. Has managed to get a foxglove in there, in the tub. So, yeah, some things have done exceptionally well, some things have done okay, but thinking about it, we haven't had any losses, we haven't had any failures, and that's good. And I mean, the geraniums along in under the hedge, they've put up a good load of flowers, and so has that ground cover stuff with the purple bells on, that's clumped up nicely. So we've had a lot of successes. This geranium buried in the ivy has performed incredibly well this year. 3 different types of bees and hoverflies come on this, so it's well worth having. There's a bee coming in now. There we go. So it does its job. It's just that the plant looks a bit tatty, but you know, the blooms are all held high, so that's good. But yeah, so the garden's filled out a lot. It's not just a mass of gravel anymore with nothing in it. It's now got plants, and next year these plants should do even better because they'll spread and they'll be stronger, better rooted, and they will bloom better. So, you know, next year I think we've got an even greater show to come. And with any luck, we'll have a lot more of those butterflies visiting us. It's funny, they're a bit like the birds with the bird feeder. Once they find it, they'll come back. They'll repeat the visits, and it's often the same with the butterflies. The red admirals are powerful flyers. They fly pretty fast and they can travel quite large distances. So that red admiral that's just been in here might have several other places it visits to feed, but it remembers that there's good food here, so it will drop back in. So they become a regular visitor, not in the garden all the time, but they visit regularly. So that'll be good. And the bird feeder, so far, I haven't filmed anything on the bird feeders yet, but so far we've had 2 nuthatches at the same time, so it is a pair. We've had a male chaffinch, we've had great tits and blue tits, the robin, and I think that's about it so far. And not one sparrow. Not one sparrow yet. And if they were around, I'd hear them, and they're not. And so far we've had no long-tailed tits and we've had no goldfinches. I really would like the goldfinches to come back again this year. But it's early days yet. You know, we're only just into October. You know, we haven't got the really cold weather going on yet. So we just have to be patient, and the more birds that use it, the more other birds will see them using it, and the more they'll be attracted and come down. And once they find the food, they'll remember where it is, and they'll become frequent visitors. So that's all to come soon, and it's certainly a much nicer looking one than the other one. Anyway, I'm going to go back in. I need another coffee. The sun's gone now. Oh look, 2 red admirals now. See what I mean? They are fast flyers. They really do whiz around. Good stuff. And the more nectar and flowers that there are in the garden, the more the butterflies will visit. We just hope the numbers are there next year and that we get the variety that we should get in the garden. There is quite a list of butterflies that have been in the garden at some point, and a lot of those didn't visit at all this year. There were none. not one. So quite a few missing this year. Let's hope it's better next year. See you next time. Bye for now.